Okay. Up to now, Pute, we have discussed about microorganisms in grade 8 lesson series. So we just discussed about the microorganisms and what are they, and categories of the microorganisms. So we just discussed different categories like bacteria, algae, archaea, fungi, virus, protozoa. These are some microorganisms. We just discussed about that, and we'll discuss the question as well. Then you can just, so if you are not there in the class, let's revise that part with the questions. Right, now, actually we have come to the lesson here and the page number 4 in your textbook. Basically, we just discussed about the effects of microorganisms, and I have asked to do some like homework, and I got homework from Sanidhi and so one more student. Yeah, I got them their homeworks, and it's nice to see that you have done these practicals at home, and so that will be a great experience to you. So what I asked you to take few food items, maybe fruit, bread, those things, and keep it for a few weeks, maybe a few days. So just asked you to test and observe their color, texture, smell, and appearance. But this was one result I got. This is from Sanidhi, and I'll show it to you. And this is what I got from you, Sanidhi. That's it. Yeah, I think this one. Yeah. This is what I got. And this is her experiment results. I'm just showing it to others. How properties of food change due to the growth of microorganisms. And so basically 4 properties we have considered. The property 1 is color. The property 2 is texture. Property 3 is smell and appearance. Right, coconut water, that is like, that is the first experiment we did in the classroom even. So the coconut water turned like as a fresh food, it is colorless. So transparent, basically it looks like water. Yes, the texture is, it looks like water, and no smell, or you can say a pleasant smell maybe. So a pleasant smell, or you can say no smell at all, or pleasant smell. And it's the appearance is transparent. It looks like water. So after 24 hours, so you can see it is the microorganisms are growing really, really faster on this coconut water. Why? Because the microorganism thinks and it experiences this coconut water as a food, and there is moisture, food both. So, and easily, so you know, it is open after breaking the coconut shell. It's open, and therefore it's easily accessible. Unlike, so even, so you have taken some other thing like bitter gourd and bread. So, but bread, again, you have so less moisture. And so this is again a fruit, type of fruit, or maybe you can take it as a vegetable. So both of these are vegetables and fruits, and then you can take. So there is actually cover. There is a cover, but protecting the internal cells. But here you have bread, you have taken it away, and only coconut water is taken. So it's easily accessible. Therefore, after 24 hours, you can experiment the growth of microorganisms, and the color turned off white, and so still the texture is like water, not thick, not that much thick, but it might generate some smelly, and the appearance is, yes, it looks like water, but the thing is, it's not just that. So it's not transparent, it's semi-transparent now, I guess. So after 48 hours, you can see it's off-white, and oily means like it's now not so, it has become a soft smoothie kind of thing. and generating some bad smell, and it's like opaque, not transparent. And so after 72 hours, it's so the process here actually in the coconut water, it is the process we learn 3 kind of processes. So if you can remember, what are they? We learn 3 processes, 3 kind of things, right? Here, fermentation, putrefaction, and rancidity. So fermentation is moreover like mostly happening for this sugar-based food, right? So here you can consider coconut water as a sugar-based or high in sugar. So therefore, it is fermented. So the process which is happening there is fermentation. In Sinhala, we call pasima, right? Pasima is fermentation. So you can say, so it generates some smell, and so if you taste it, so it's it may, so this sweetness will go away, and you can feel something like, so it's not sugar anymore, because after fermentation it generates some alcoholic solution. So that is what happened in fermentation. In putrefaction, so microbacterial activity on food high in protein leads to putrefaction. So in Sinhala we call puti bhavane or narak veema kiyala kiya. Kunu wenawa kiya. So this is mainly happening in the protein high protein foods like flesh, meat. So this happens. Since you have not taken any kind of food like that, so I think you have not experienced what is that. But anyway, so here in this also, you can see some kind of like, it's a mixture. It's not perfectly putrefaction, but it's mixture of putrefaction as well as fermentation, because it is also having food as a fruit. So then rancidity is basically for fatty foods. So in Sinhala we call mudu veema. So this is for fatty food. So actually what is happening there is when you get this fatty, high fat food, so the taste of the food, basically it looks same, but the taste of the food may be bit bitter after some time. So that is called rancidity. This happens on oil and oily products like cheese and all. So it's rancidity. It is actually a difference of taste, mainly the different taste you can feel, that is the okay. Then impact of microorganisms on human and their activities, right? So impact of microorganisms in human and their activities, that is the next thing. So beneficial effects of microorganisms we learn. So we learned that it is mainly used in producing these dairy products like curd, yogurt, cheese. So different bacteria on different such products will generate different taste. So we can call tasty bacteria, right? So not tasty bacteria, I'm just saying. So because different bacteria types will generate different tastes. And even the bakery products, we learned that yeast can be used to, like, why? Because it emits carbon dioxide, so it can make this bread soften. And antibiotics, again, mold fungus is used to create penicillin-like antibiotics, we learned that. And producing vaccines. So you learn about this COVID-19. So most of the vaccines related to COVID-19 are inactivated viruses. So virus is considered as a microorganism. Virus is considered as a microorganism. So inactivated bacteria used to generate immunity in this context. So basically producing vaccines, some bacteria are used. Not just that, so not just that, just give me a minute. Okay, not just that, some bacteria are used and some fungus, sometimes some fungus, more like fungus, some fungus are used to produce these vaccines, not just bacteria, virus, fungus. So all these are used in generating, actually improving our immune system. Why they inject the bacteria itself? So maybe inactivated bacteria or inactivated virus. What's the reason? මොකද යාලා මේ inactivate කරපු bacteria එකක් නැත්නම් inactivate කරපු virus එකක් සැර අඩු කරපු bacteria එකක් virus එකක් අපිට inject කරන්න. What's the reason? Right, I think you know about how our immune system works. So when there is a bacteria or virus, our immune system start responding to those bacteria and viruses soon. So when you inject some dose, actually this dose may contain several thousands or several hundred thousands of the bacteria or virus. So our immune system start responding this by generating some hormones and also some kind of chemicals which can attack these bacteria and virus. Actually, when you inject this vaccine, when you put this vaccine or when you are vaccine, this immune system start attacking the virus or bacteria. Actually, this is like a prototype. This is like a prototype, a training, kind of training. You are training your body to attack the particular type of bacteria or virus. You are training your body. ඒ කියන්නේ අර ඇත්ත එක එන්න කලින් ඔයාගේ body එක train කරගන්නවා. පුහුණු කරගන්නවා. When your body is trained, right? When your body is trained, it is really easy to body to face when the actual bacteria or virus infected. It's very easy to your body to respond that, right? And so that will actually improve your response time. That will improve your response time. So that is why in the vaccines we are using viruses and these bacteria. The reason is to improve our immune system. එතකොට යාලා කලින් අපිට ඉන්ජෙක්ට් කරලා තියෙද්දි මේ immune system එක මොකද වෙන්නේ? අපි මේ වෙද්දී ඒ වෛරස් එක දැකලා තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ වැක්සින් එකක් විදිහට දෙන්නේ ඇත්තටම සැර බාල කරලා ටිකක් සැර අඩු කරලා දෙන්න. එතකොට අපි කලින් දැකලා තියෙන හින්දා මේ බැක්ටීරියා එක කලින් දැකලා තියෙන හින්දා මේ වෛරස් එක අපේ බොඩි එක රෙඩි වෙලා ඉන්නේ ඇත්ත එක්කෙනා આવොත්. එතකොට යාට පුළුවන් ඉක්මනට අර කලින් ඉගෙනගෙන තියෙනවනේ මෙහෙම කෙනෙක් එනවා කියලා. එතකොට ඉක්මනට ඒ සිස්ටම් එක පාවිච්චි කරලා අර අලුතෙන් එන වෛරස් එකට හෝ බැක්ටීරියා එකට ඇටැක් කරන්න. ඒකයි කියන අපේ ඉමුනිටි එක තමයි එකෙන් වැඩි වෙන්නේ. අපේ ඉමුනිටි කියන අපේ ප්‍රතිශක්තිය තමයි මේකෙන් වැඩි වෙන්නේ. ඒකයි මේ වැක්සින් වලට වෛරසස් පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. නැත්නම් බැක්ටීරියා පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. And producing Vigna and alcohol, right? So especially in alcohol production and Vinca production, so these microbacteria or these organisms are used. And as a food, you can use mushrooms. Mushroom is a fungus, but we can use that as a food. So nowadays, you know, mushroom cultivation is a business. It is a kind of food. Therefore, in mass scale, people used to produce these mushrooms. And compost. So compost is, you know, is kind of a fertilizer. So it's a natural fertilizer. Why? So you are using all fruit, maybe vegetable fruits, and also leaves and soil, which is actually regenerating the nutrition and added nutrition to the soil. So the compost is popular natural fertilizer. And then biogas. So in the biogas and also some are used in other kind of like fuel production even. So this sometimes these microorganisms are used in the fuel purification, some kind of production. So and producing biogas. Biogas means methane. Right? Methane is a biogas. So what is actually, so these compost and biogas are related. Compost and biogas are related by, because you can just start your own system of making compost as well as the biogas. Okay, let's say you have a lot of wastages, vegetables and fruits, leaves. You have a lot of wastages. You can just store them. You can just store them. Then what will happen? These microorganisms will come and use that waste food as food and start growing and reproducing. So when it start growing, reproducing, so what will happen when it decompose these food and vegetable item? So what will happen? It will start producing methane, which is inflatable as it can be used as a biogas. I was just wondering, because this gas issue is there in Sri Lanka nowadays. So I just go and search what can be done. Then I found nice video. I can show it to you. So which you can use biogas to produce biogas to lighten up these gas cookers. Right. So let's see how it happens. So you can just search biogas DIY. So this is always, I advise you to go through these things. DIY means do it yourself. Do it yourself or homemade. Okay. So this is one example. So you can do this, but do this with the support of your parent. Otherwise, don't do this. This is like risky because it is inflatable, right? Parent kenek ekka meka karana. Don't do it alone. So do it with one of your parents. Do it with an adult.
हम किचन वेस्ट से मीथेन गैस बनाएंगे. मतलब जो किचन में हमारा सब्जी और फलों का वेस्ट.
This is Hindi. The video is Hindi, but let me explain that in English.
खेल के निकलते हैं ना, उनसे हम मीथेन फ्यूल गैस बनाएंगे. पूरा वीडियो देखिएगा, आपको मजा आएगा. एक प्लास्टिक की बकेट लेंगे.
So he's using a plastic bucket to do this.
फिर वहां पर होज निप्पल लगाएंगे, फिर ग्लू लगाएंगे ताकि एयर टाइट हो जाए. ये एक ट्यूब का वाल्व है, इसको हम गुब्बारे में लगा देंगे.
He's filling this biogas which is emitted into a balloon, right?
अब इसके अंदर हम गुब्बारे को लगा देंगे. अब हम इन दोनों बकेटों को आपस में कनेक्ट करेंगे. ये ऑन ऑफ वाल्व है.
See how he's connecting these wires.
ये भी एक ऑन ऑफ वाल्व है. ये सब्जी फलों के छिलके हैं, इनको हम मिक्सी में.
You can see the food wastage, basically fruits, vegetables, and their waste products.
ताकि इनके छोटे-छोटे टुकड़े हो जाएं.
It is blended. So blending will make the process easier. The decomposition will be easy when you blend it. That's why it's blending, right? Otherwise, blending is not necessary. You can just put the content there, but the decomposition will be slow. Decomposition කියලා කියන්නේ බින්ද වැටීම නැත්නම් ජීර්ණය වෙන එක. ඒ දිර වෙන එක හිමීට වෙන්නේ. So if you are not cutting this, or if you are not blending this, the decomposition will be very slow. That's the reason, right? That's why he's blending this. And you can see this is the waste vegetables and fruit. is putting that into the bucket. Here, to develop methogenic bacteria, so we have to keep like cow dung into the, and once the bacteria develop, you can reuse it again and again. So what he's using, so he's using some, actually this is like culturing, you know, in yogurt production also we use yogurt culture or yogurt, so as the source of the bacteria. Otherwise, so we can let it happen, because you know the bacteria, fungus are there in the nature, but it will take more time to, therefore he's using cow dung, right? Cow dung into, so why it's used? So this is actually, it is rich and it has a lot of bacteria which has already developed. So when you put this into the bucket, it will expedite or speed up the process. That's the reason.
क्योंकि गाय के गोबर में ही मैथोजेनिक बैक्टीरिया डेवलप होता है और मैथोजेनिक बैक्टीरिया को डेवलप होने में लगभग 1 महीने का समय लगता है। मीथेन मैथोजेनिक बैक्टीरिया ही बनाता है। इस वाले ऑन ऑफ वाल्व को ऑन कर देंगे ताकि जो भी मीथेन गैस इस बकेट में बने वो जाके हमारे बैलून में स्टोर हो जाए। अब हम इसको 8 से 9 दिन के लिए छोड़ देंगे। इसको 9 दिन हो गए हैं। आप देख सकते हैं हमारा बैलून फूल गया है गैस से। चलो अब हम मीथेन गैस को जला के देखते हैं।
You can see the balloon is filled with the methane gas, right? So when balloon is filled with the methane gas, actually balloon is used. Why balloon is used? Because it can generate some pressure. Balloon එක පුම්බලා balloon එක fill කරාම නැත්නම් balloon එක ඇරලා balloon එක open කරාම ඒ හුලඟ ටිකක් pressure එකෙන් යනවනේ. That pressure is needed. That's why he's using a balloon. Right? This balloon has methane which is produced, and that can be used, right? That can be used to lighten up this. It's actually called biogas. You can see it's going through the line, and you can use that. This is actually only a pilot project. This is not a very good one. This is a pilot project, means just to show you how biogas can be produced. This is used just to show you how biogas can be used. This is for very short time, right? But the thing is, if you have a large can, right? So here you can see microbacterial effect. So when you open it, it's smelly, and as well as it's producing. You can see it's really, really smelly because of the methane, and as well as you can see a lot of fungus and other bacteria, fungus developed in this culture. So that is helping, that helps us generate in this biogas or methane. So have you heard that there were kind of blast in this Mitotamulla area? Or that was predicted?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. So what's the reason? The reason is, right, when you store this for a long time, when you store these garbages for a long time, so the similar process will happen. In these garbage, large garbage areas, a lot of methane will be produced. Ultimately, if the pressure is very, very high, if the pressure gets very high, so what will happen after some time?
It blasts.
It blasts, right? So that is really dangerous to store garbage in open areas, especially in civilized areas, for a long time, because it generates this methane and it can blast. Right, okay. Now we know the effect. And microorganisms decompose dead plant and animal matters, right? It decompose. We learned what is decomposing. Decomposing is breaking down. Decomposing means breaking down into decomposing is breaking down this into the like basic substances, which it was created, what elementary substances. So it's just breaking down and balancing the environment. That should happen, right? When we die, it is required to decompose our body and add it to the nature, right? When a plant dies, or when the plant is the time of plant or animal, when it dies, so it is requirement. Otherwise, what will happen? If we remain undecomposed, if we remain as it is, if our remainings will be there in the earth, there will be a lot of garbages. But these microorganisms help in the environment to recycle. So basically, after our death, we are recycled. After the plant death, plant or animals and plants will be recycled. So otherwise, so it is not possible to balance the earth. So it's very important. It plays very important role by decomposing these things. Right. So let's discuss the harmful effects. Yes, we discussed a lot of things. So one is like food poisoning and infections, right? Infection, even it can, it can cause death. The COVID-like things can cause death even. So these are the main issues that we found. So we just learned about this last week, growth of microorganisms like fungus, especially in vegetable. Here again, bread, some fungus, and growth of fungus and other things in fruit. So anyway, ultimately what will happen if you keep this for a long time, like few days, few weeks, it will decompose. So it will emit gases. Why the bad smell? Because it emits gases. When decomposing, it breaks these into elementary gases. That's the reason. That's the reason that why you can feel a bad smell. So it can be as a byproduct, or it can be the main product even. So especially when you're producing biogas, it's a main product. So what if you are using compost? It can be a byproduct. Compost හදන්න යනවා නම් මේ වගේ මේ ටික අපිට ඕන භාගයට දිරපු ඒවා. ඒතර ඒක තමයි main product එක. That is compost. The byproduct is the gas. හැබැයි අපි biogas හදන්න යනවා නම් the byproduct will be the compost. Byproduct එක compost. අතුරු ඵලය වෙන්නේ compost. Okay, so these are some of the main issues. So please remember these things. Viruses, right? So please write down as a question. Please write down as a question.
Okay, sir.
Right. Write down infectious diseases. Write down infectious diseases caused to man by the following microorganisms. Fill the given table. Fill the given table. Then write down. So I'm going to give some different table, not the same. Okay. Disease caused by, you have to write whether it's a virus, bacteria, protozoa, or fungi caused by virus, bacteria, or protozoa, or fungus, or fungi. Then name of the microorganism. Protozoa, right? Name of the microorganisms. Then symptoms. Symptoms. Okay, example, you can write down this. As an example, you can write down this. So I'll give one example, then you have to fill it as a homework. My example is, so let's say, so let's take tuberculosis as a disease. Sorry, the tuberculosis as a disease. So it is caused by what? So it's given here, right? It's given here. You can just write down it's caused by bacteria. And it is microbacterium. The name of the bacteria is Microbacterium. Tuberculosis. Microbacterium. Yes, microbacterium. Tuberculosis. Symptoms. Symptoms means what? So basically, what are the signs and symptoms? What you can feel. So in case of infection, you can say cough. For longer time, right? So maybe like more than 1 month. Chest pain. Weakness. So these are some symptoms. Even fever can be caused, right? Fever can be. So just do some analysis. You can just go through these diseases, and one by one, you can see the different diseases here. Just do this analysis. Just write down this and do this analysis, and it will give you more. It will give you, yes, breathing issues. Yes, breathing issues. So try to fill this, right? This is all I have given only for one disease, but try to at least mention 10 diseases. So already you have few, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, you have 11. At least try to find 15 diseases there. because there are 11 already they are in your book. Right? 11 diseases already they are in your book, so try to find some more.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Finish writing?
Still writing, sir.
Okay. Do it quickly. So disease, and is it caused by which kind of microorganism, whether it's a virus, bacteria, protozoa, fungi, or algae, even that can be written. So algae, or there are some more that can even be written. Right. So try to fill this by next week, and so similar to the last day work, send it to the WhatsApp.
Okay, sir.
Right. Okay. Then, so these are some, you can see this dengue, or you can say dengue, sometimes we pronounce as dengue or dengue. So dengue, hemorrhagic patient. Hemorrhagic means in the severe situation, it emits blood, right? It's a dangerous situation. So you know that in Sinhala we call raktapata, right? Such situation, like it's critical, right? Dengue, normal dengue is like it can be tolerated, but when it comes to this hemorrhagic situation, it's really critical. Here, this is another one. So this is deformity due to leprosy. Leprosy means what? Leprosy, single. What's the term? Leprosy. Sorry?
Laduru?
Yes, Laduru. So you know, I don't know whether you have watched the movie series Robin Hood. Have you seen? No.
Yes, sir.
There are a situation like it was heavily there in earlier days. So they used to like hide in these hoodie dresses. So, and people will think they are suffering from leprosy and they are not going to close it. But that is used as a war tactic, like in the war, they are using that as, not in the war actually. So in the fights, they are using that as a tactic. Right? So I can remember one episode. So people think that they are suffering from leprosy and they are not going to close. So they think that it will infect them also. So this is kind of, right? So people reject these leprosy people. So it's kind of bad thing, right? So, but the thing is that, so it can be avoided, but the thing is, it is really, really severe. You can see the fingers and all get damaged due to this. So that is deformity actually. It's deformation. Your body will totally collapse and it deform. This is another one, but this is like, a fungi. Right? Fungi infection, you can see. So this is, you call pityriasis, right? So there is also a fungi infection. So if you are finished, I can just minimize this. And so these microorganisms are so dangerous, even though those are not visible to us, it can cause death, it can cause deformity, it can damage the skin, many things. And you can see here, not only in human, so it's affecting animals too. Here, a dog suffering from rabies. Rabies? What is rabies?
ජලබීතිකාව.
So basically, it's common to some dogs, and even if you bit by these dogs, so that is dangerous again, it can cause death, right? Therefore, so even through animals, it can damage other animals too. So bulls suffering from, right, foot and mouth disease, muka kora roge කියලා කියන මුඛ සහ කුර රෝගය කියලා කියන එකට. A bull suffering from foot and mouth disease. A cow suffering from mastitis. This is called like burulu ප්‍රදාහය කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. ඒගොල්ලෝ කිරි ගන්න මේව එකේ ඒ කිරි බුරුල්ල එක ඉදිමෙනවා. Right? So this is so I don't know the exact Sinhala word in So, but anyway, I think that is the word, right? So let's search on those. Because these are like biological words, no? Medical terms. So let's search. Oh, what is that? So that is, right, I think, let's go for Google Translate. Yeah, so that is a, okay. The other one, which I didn't know about that terms, which is maybe the same name, but I didn't know about that, sorry. Right, this is another. And not just animals, so not just humans, not just animals. So it is affecting, right, plants too. So, you know, a lot of farmers, they are really upset about these diseases. Why? Because they cannot see the cause, because this is a microorganism. They cannot observe because nowadays in Sri Lanka, we don't have such knowledgeable farmers. But in other countries, they can observe because they have the technology. Here we are using technology a little, right? So, but lot of microorganism issues are there with these plants. So it can damage the entire plant. It can reduce the crops, right? It can maybe damage. It can even infect, or it can even poison the food. When you take such food, it can even poison the food inside the stomach and give a lot of damages to us even. So therefore, need to be aware about these things. So especially if you are a farmer, so in future, I think we all have to be farmers according to the current situation in Sri Lanka, right? It seems, because, you know, so all are suffering, all sectors are affected due to this recession situation. So ultimately, we have to be farmers and do some cultivation there, here and there. Even as a home garden, we have to maintain something. So it is better to know about these. So this is chili plant. You cannot find chili there, but you can see it's leaf curd diseases. It's mostly affecting leaves, but it's not just affecting leaves. Because leaves are more vulnerable. Like leaves are soft and more vulnerable to these things. And not just leaves, and so it can affect trunk and other roots, trunk, etc. So not just the animals, plants, you can see. So here it's everywhere, right? So, but we can't kill them because it's really helping the world to neutralize. So microorganisms are really needed. Otherwise, no decomposition. So let's say, so no microorganisms are there. Then food, and so it will take very long time to food or these animal bodies to decompose into the basic status. It will take very, very long time. Actually, in these pyramids and all, what they have done, Pute, so they have protected the bodies from these microorganisms by using various medicine, or by storing them in the in very kind of dry environment. They tried to protect these bodies called mummies. You know, there is a film called Mummy. These mummies, they tried to protect by using a lot of medicines, medicinal plants, and even by protecting them using some vacuum areas. Because then the microorganism behaviors or microorganism growth and reproduction will be really minimized. Then what happened? So with that, what will happen? So it will be protected for a very long time. And have you seen the fossils in glaciers? You can just go and search fossils in glaciers. But glacier is also, you know, it's ice. It's really, really cool. And sometimes due to these storms and all, some fossils, right? Some fossils, even not just fossils. Fossil is just like this. Fossil is something like this. It's like a seal. But not just that. So this is, let's say, not a fossil. Let's see. This is not I have seen this in one article, but I cannot find it now. Is it dinosaurs? Any sounds? Dinosaur egg, yes, dinosaur egg, I think. Oh, I'm not sure. Crocodile egg or dinosaur egg, which is actually protected. That is, yeah, here. Yes, this one. So here it's a preserved dinosaur egg, right? So you can just go and read the article. This is actual real news. It's a dinosaur egg which was sealed, right? Which was sealed and protected inside a glacier. Because, you know, in the glacier, right? In glacier here, this is not the actual thing, right? This is a 3D generated image, right? It is 3D generated image, just an assumption, but this is the body. You see, it is protected inside this dinosaur eggshell and also inside a glacier. Because in glaciers, you know, these microbial activities are very, very low. The reason is it's very cool. But there are some microorganisms, as I said. So these, there is a type of microorganism called archaea. These archaea bacteria or archaea are living in extreme environment. Extreme environment like volcano hot springs and even in glaciers or ice. It can live in salty environment too. So these are called archaea bacteria, but so very less amount. So unlike other microorganisms, this is considerably low amount, right? Therefore, so just go and read this article. There is a video also. Just go and read this article. This is really protected inside a glacier because very cool environment. If you make the environment cool, then the growth of microorganism will be reduced. I don't know, Pute, whether true or false. I have even experienced. I was there in Nuwara Eliya, and so actually it was my hometown. So when I was there in Nuwara Eliya, so I experienced that the number of occurrences where I got infected for these infected sinus due to maybe cold or fever, I got that for very less amount of time. I can even count. So because in my area, which I was living when I was in Nuwara Eliya, so the temperature was very, very low. So these microbial activities, microbacterial, these microorganism activities are really slow. Even food we can keep for long time, I experienced that. Even food we can keep for long time without a refrigerator. If you keep the food, so maybe potato here in candy and potato, if you keep it in Nuwara Eliya, the environment will protect that for long time. But if you keep the same potato in Hambantota or some area, so it will like speed up the microbacterial and microorganism growth, and soon it will decompose. But it will take more time in Nuwara Eliya. So food can be protected for a long time. So we will learn that. So temperature is one of the main factor which is affecting. Temperature is one of the main factor which is affecting growth of microorganisms. So this is, you can see fungi on cloth and walls even, so in fact, so, and wooden surfaces. So it can be everywhere, anywhere and everywhere. So that is the microorganism behavior. So with that, we have come to end of this lesson. So next day we have to start our new lesson, which is animal classification. So we need to classify animals into different kingdoms, classes. We learn that next day. So before we stop, we need to discuss about the summary and also some questions. Right. So we learned microorganisms are organisms which cannot be observed by using naked eye. PAB asset නොපෙනෙන. ඒගොල්ලෝ microorganism PAB asset පැහැදිලිව නොපෙනෙන. අය තමයි microorganisms කියලා කියන්නේ. So we cannot observe them clearly using our naked eye. So those are called microorganisms and can be observed through compound microscope. Not a simple microscope. We have to use a compound microscope. Compound light microscope can be used to observe microorganisms. සංයුක්ත අන්වීක්ෂයක් නේද? compound microscope එකක් use කරනවා. සංයුක්ත ආලෝක අන්වීක්ෂය. So then, so it's really helpful because it helps us producing some food items, and it help us decomposing the plants and dead bodies, and even producing fertilizers, compost. So it helps biogas production. It helps medicinal usages are also there, like penicillin-like thing. Penicillin is produced from mold type of fungus. And also it helps as a food we can use. You know, these mushrooms can be taken as a food. So that is also a microorganism, right? Therefore, these microorganisms are really, really helpful. But it can spoil our food. It can poison or spoil the food, and it can infect our bodies, and it can even infect animals, plants, and other components. It can even speed up decomposition of bodies, the decomposition of dead bodies. So help us in recycling process. But the thing is, it's dangerous when it tries to recycle when we are alive, right? අපි ජීවත් වෙලා ඉඳිද්දී යාලා රිසයිකල් කරන්න හදනකොට තමයි ප්‍රශ්නේ වෙන්නේ. මරුණාට පස්සේ රිසයිකල් කරාට කමන්නේ. So that is the problem, right? Basically, in order to microorganism to grow, nutrition, moisture, temperature, even the pH. pH means the acidity, right? pH means the acidity level affects. So the growth is low when the nutrients are low. Growth is low when moisture is low. Growth is low when temperature is low, and temperature is very high. The growth is low when the pH values are extreme. Right? pH values are normal, the growth is there, but pH values are extreme. High acidity or very low acidity can help us protecting the food. Okay, so the bacteria, so please try to answer this. Bacteria belong to category of microorganism, right or wrong? Bacteria, right. Yeah, it's right, correct. A virus causes tuberculosis. Is it a virus? No, it's a bacteria, right? We learn it's a bacteria, it's not a virus. Then, okay. Refrigerating food helps to control temperature suitable for microorganisms. Refrigerating is you are putting in the fridge, you are cooling it. It will help to control. Yes, obviously, it will help. Moisture and warmth are necessary factors for growth of fungi.
Yes, sir.
Yes, obviously. The scientist called Anton van Leeuwenhoek observed microorganisms for first time.
Yes, sir.
He's the one, Anton van Leeuwenhoek. A disease not caused by virus is AIDS is a virus. Measles is a virus.
Yeah.
Is it rabies or leprosy?
Leprosy?
Yes, leprosy. Correct. Correct, yeah. It's leprosy. So rabies is also a virus. Leprosy is a bacteria. The food type that undergoes fermentation in the presence of microorganisms. Fermentation. Is it proteins, lipids, sugar, or all three?
Food with sugar?
Sugar, yes. Mostly food with sugar. Mostly food with sugar, correct. Okay, this is easy, I guess. VC lesson, right? So the next environmental condition suitable for microbial growth are given below: temperature, moisture, pH. Which of the above conditions are controlled by refrigerating the food? Which are controlled by refrigerating? You can control the
A and B.
Yes, moisture and temperature can be controlled by refrigerating. A microbial activity on lipid foods such as dodol and kaum. Panikaum. What panikaum is it? Paniyaram. Paniyaram is a Tamil one, right? Tamil word, I guess. Paniyaram. Yeah, it's a Tamil word. So dodol, paniyaram like food, kaum like food. This is lipid, high lipid food. So what will happen to this high lipid food?
Rancidity.
Yes, it's a rancidity. Mudu ena eka tama wenne. Rasai wenasak wenna, right? So rancidity can happen. A favorable impact for human by microorganisms, decomposition of dead plants and animal matter, causing diseases to human, make food unsuitable for consumption, cause economical impact by drawing non-living surfaces. So asking favorable impact.
Decomposition of dead plant and animal matter.
Yes, decomposition of dead bodies and dead plants. It's a useful thing, others are not useful. So finally, he asked some questions again. So let's set of questions. Write 4 examples for microorganisms. It's easy. Fungi. Yes, tell me. Fungi. Other 3. 4 examples for microorganisms. Hope you remember the names.
Algae.
Algae, okay.
Amoeba.
Amoeba, yeah. Those are examples. Not categories, but anyway. That's correct. Paramecia, amoeba, algae. Yes. So bacteria, algae, paramecia, amoeba. Yes, those are examples. Or categories even you can write. Category wise, you can say fungi, protozoa, algae, and virus. Virus, even though it is not categorized as living being, so still you can take that as a microorganism, right? Then mention 2 factors required for microbial activity. So what are the 2 considerable factors for microbial activities? We learn, just learn. Yes. One is moisture. Yes, one is moisture.
And temperature.
Yes, moisture and temperature. Yes, correct. Moisture and temperature. Name 3 products which microorganisms are used. 3 products. You can say food products, right? 3 food products where microorganisms are used.
Dairy products.
Dairy products like milk, curd. Yes, dairy product, milk, curd, and bakery products. Yes, correct. Bakery. Vaccines. Yes, correct. And what factor is needed for microbial growth in control when food is stored in sugar, honey? So which factor is controlled when you store this in sugar or honey? Which is controlled? So you know these Vedda fellows, the traditional or these ancient culture people, so they used to store their food in sugar or honey. Even the flesh, meat, they used to store in sugar, honey. So then what will happen? So there will be less microbial activity. You know that sugar can even be a cause, so it can even be affected by microbial activity like fermentation. But in this situation, if you use high concentration of sugar or honey, high concentration again adisandra. High concentration again adisandra again vatura adui. So if you use high concentration of sugar, honey, even salt, so it can control the humidity and it can control this what do you call this moisture? Yes, correct. Exactly. You can control the moisture So when the moisture is controlled, again, even though that is a sugar and honey, since moisture is controlled, so the microbial growth will be low. Mention 2 microbial applications in the field of medicine. So that we already discussed, vaccine and penicillin like medicine, vaccine. So those are used in medicine, even for researchers. So tell me one technological use of microorganisms. Can you tell me one technological use? This is not there in questions. Since we are doing IT and science both, I can ask that question as a valid question. Tell me a technological use of microorganism.
Biogas.
It's industrial. It cannot be taken as technological. It's anyway can be taken as industrial biogas, yes. But that is a fuel. Do you know about the bacteria storages, which is under the research? The scientists have found bacteria as secondary storage device. So they are attempting to use bacteria as a secondary storage device in computers. So that is a technological thing, right? In a bacteria gene, so they have discovered that inside a gene or inside a bacterial gene, it is possible to store, right? Inside a bacterial gene, it is possible to store data, not bacteria, actually bacterial gene. So it can be used as a storage device that is under a scientific research, under a research. This is DNA-based memory devices, right? DNA-based memory devices. So microorganisms are useful in this DNA-based memory devices. This is related to technology. That is not there in your book, but still you can add that as a special note. So, and you can just look at these videos, explore and learn about that more. Okay, right.
Excuse me,
Yes.
can you explain this in Sinhala?
So this bacterial gene.
Yes, sir.
Bacteria වල ජාන gene කියන්නේ ජාන කියන්නේ මේ ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා DNA එකක් දන්නවනේ. DNA එකේ තමයි අපේ තියෙන මේ මොනවාද අපි ගැන තියෙන අපේ ගති ලක්ෂණ ටික ස්ටෝර් වෙන්නේ. එතකොට අපිව හැදෙන්නේ අපේ අම්මගේ තාත්තගේ DNA වලින්. ඒකනේ අපිට අපේ අම්මගේ ස්වරූපයයි තාත්තගේ ස්වරූපයයි එන්නේ. ඒ දෙකම එකතු වෙලා තමයි අපිව හැදෙන්නේ. ඒ DNA වලින් තමයි එතකොට අපේ අම්මගේ සහ තාත්තගේ ගති ලක්ෂණ අපිට එන්නේ. ඉතින් ඕක දැකලා සයන්ටිස්ට්ලා තීරණය කරන හොයාගන්න තියෙනවා. මේ DNA වල නැත්නම් මේ සෛලයක් ඇතුලේ තියෙන DNA. දැන් ඔය මේ වෛරසස් මේ මොකද්ද වෛරස් එකක් කියනවනේ අපි ආ ජීවි නෙවෙයි කියලා. ඒකට හේතුවත් මේ වෛරස් ඇතුලේ තියෙන DNA නෙවෙයි. වෛරස් වල තියෙන්නේ මේ RNA. සමහර ඒවායේ DNA තියෙනවා. But mostly it's RNA. RNA viruses, DNA viruses උත් තියෙනවා. Right? Either DNA or RNA. ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට තියෙන්නේ මේ mRNA, RNA එකක් තියෙන්නේ. RNA කියන්නේ යාට ගති ලක්ෂණයක් තව කෙනෙකුට දෙන්න එහෙම බෑ. හැබැයි යාට පුළුවන් DNA එකක් තියෙනකොට ප්‍රොඩියුස් වෙන්න. මේ DNA කියන්නේ මේ තියෙන්නේ ribonucleotide තමයි RNA කියන්නේ. එතකොට එක දාමේ තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට deoxyribonucleotide කියන එක තමයි DNA කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒකේ දාම දෙකක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් වෛරසස් මේ දෙවිදිහට වෙනවා කොහොම වුණත් මේකේ ස්ටෝරේජ් එකක් තියෙනවා. මේකේ සේව් කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා ඒ කියන්නේ data මේ bit විදිහටනේ සේව් කරන්නේ. bit byte විදිහටනේ. හැබැයි DNA වල සේව් කරන්න වෙන්නේ මේ වගේ. DNA වල සේව් කරන්න වෙන්නේ මේ වගේ oxygen, hydro OH, H, CH2 ඔය වගේම තමයි සේව් කරන්නේ. ඉතින් භස්ම කාණ්ඩ. මේ කොහොම වුණත් මේ විදිහේ ස්ටෝරේජ් එකක් ගැන රිසර්චර්ස් සයන්ටිස්ට්ලා කරගෙන යනවා. How can so because DNA can be used to store terabyte of data. So think about a bacteria. Bacteria is a microorganism. If you can store terabyte of data inside a microorganism, that is wonderful, right? Terabyte දාන්න පුළුවන් නම් microorganism එකක් ඇතුළට. So maybe our movies we can store inside a bacteria. Assume so how weird the future is if you can store movies inside a bacteria, right? So that will be really amazing achievement. So that is what scientists are trying, because they believe that in this DNA, it is possible to store large volume of data. Okay, understood or need more explanation? I think you got it, right?
Yes, sir.
But you have to explore. I know this is only a short notification. You have to go and explore this. Just watch videos and see how technology and science work together to generate these biological storages. Okay, with that, I'll stop for today. We have finished the lesson, and next day I'll be moving to the new lesson, which is animal classification, which is your second lesson in the book. So let's learn that in next week. Good night. See you all next week.
Good night, sir.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Bye.